So the question is, where do you purchase your chicks from? Well, it really depends on personal preference as well as availability. Some of your options would be to get your chicks from a local farm, from a store like a Tractor Supply, or ordering online from a hatchery, or going through a chicken breeder that has show quality birds. There's different options and they all have their pros and their cons. So let's explore those a little bit. So say you go with your local store like a Tractor Supply, or near here we have a Bay State Pet and Garden, which is a local feed store, and they have chicks. Those chicks are typically available in the springtime and early summer. So there's a limited time frame for when they're available, and there's only going to be certain breeds. Usually the more popular breeds are available. So those chicks, you can walk into the store and purchase those chicks, or you could potentially order them online from that store. The benefit to going through a Tractor Supply or another store is that those chicks are shipped from hatcheries, and any chicks that have died along the way while being shipped, which is the unfortunate side of shipping chicks, those chicks are dealt with by the store, and it's not something that you're dealing with. You are purchasing chicks that have survived the shipping and are hopefully healthy. So you are skipping that step of having the chicks shipped directly to you as you would through purchasing online through a hatchery, which purchasing online through a hatchery, it's nice to have a huge selection of different breeds to choose from, especially if you want different breeds in your flock, and you can choose the quantity that you want. With online ordering, there's usually a minimum order that you have to place, and so you do have to meet that criteria. So as you can see, there's some pros and cons with those two different options. Chicks can be shipped through the mail because when they are inside of the egg, those last few days in the egg, they are absorbing the yolk, and that yolk, it helps sustain them for the next few days after hatching. And so if they are shipped right after hatching through the mail, and the hope is that they'll get to you within a couple days, that way they have sustenance in their belly while they're being shipped. It's just really important that when those chicks arrive at the post office that you go and get them immediately, bring them home, have your brooder ready, and get them their chick feed and their water for them right away. Make sure that they're hydrated and that they get food. Unfortunately, with shipping chicks, there can be problems with the delivery, and it can be delivered late. There can be inclement weather that can affect your chicks, and packages can get lost. So it's definitely a risk with shipping, but many chicks are shipped through hatcheries with no issues at all. So you need to choose the route that you are most comfortable with. If you're looking for a show quality bird, that's going to be a bit more difficult to find. That would be something where you would want to search for a breeder that specializes in a particular chicken breed and shows them. There are websites online like poultryshowcentral.com that has lists of breeders of different show quality chicken breeds, so that is also a route that you can take to search out a specific breeder of show quality birds, if that's the route that you want to take. And then as far as whether they'll be shipped or you'll be picking them up locally will just depend on the breeder that you choose and their location in reference to you. And then that brings us to purchasing chicks from a local farm. And so purchasing chicks from a local farm, again, that's going to depend on where you live and what chicken breeders you have nearby and availability of the breed that you want. So some local farms will just have one breed of chicken. Like here at Just One More Story Farm, we only have Buff Orpington chickens here on the farm, and we love the breed, and so that's what we have here, and we incubate our chicken eggs and sell the chicks. We also have broody hens who are raising chicks as well. Depending on the breeder, you could get day-old chicks when they're first hatched, that you can pick up, and depending on the breed, they can be sold as straight run, because the gender, especially on a breed like Buff Orpingtons, is difficult to tell at a day old. So typically you'll get half males, half females when you purchase a straight run of chicks. So I do have customers that will come and purchase day old chicks, and then in a couple months when they realize which ones are roosters, and so those roosters will need to be rehomed, because otherwise they're going to start fighting with each other and they're going to stress out your female chicks, which are your pullets, and that's not going to be a good situation. So finding homes for those roosters will be really important. The other option that I offer to my customers is that if they want to purchase just female chicks, they can opt to have me raise their chicks to 2 months of age, when I can tell the difference in gender more accurately between the males and females. I have a lot of customers that prefer to purchase their chicks at 2 months of age, when we can tell the gender. They're no longer needing heat. They don't have to set up a brooder for them. They're already outside in a coop, and so they can just take them home at that point and put them in their own coop and not have to worry about how fragile chicks are in the initial couple weeks of life, and changing the temperature of the brooder 5 degrees every week. It's a lot simpler to get chicks at 2 months of age and then raise them up from there. So that would be the benefits of getting it from a local farm. You could potentially have options as far as the age of the chicks, and the chicks aren't shipped. You're picking them up locally. You're saving them from the stress of shipping. You're getting to meet the breeder and see their farm, their setup, where your chicks come from, as well as have a resource to go to if you have any questions or concerns about your chicks and raising your chickens. The cons of going to a local farm would be availability. So a local farm may not have a bunch of different breeds of chicks available for sale, and that can make it harder to find the breed that you want and the chicks at the time that you want them. But on the other hand, a local farm may have chicks at various times of the year rather than just in the spring and early summer like a Tractor Supply or local feed store may have. Now, if you don't want to have your chicks shipped, then your options for purchasing them at a local store would be during the spring and early summer, or you could purchase them from your local farm, which, depending on the breeder, you could get chicks at all different times of the year. I know for my farm here, I just hatch chicks based on demand. And so if I have a customer that reaches out to me in the dead of winter, like I had this last winter, and they would like chicks, then I will put hatching eggs in my incubator for that customer for a specific number of chicks that he or she would like, and that way they can receive their chicks when they are hatched 21 days later. As a smaller farm, I'm able to do those custom orders, so it just really depends. Just know that you have different options. So if you want chicks, don't worry, you'll be able to get your chicks. You'll just have to choose the route that you want to go to get those chicks, and then check on availability. And just so you know, if you want that amazing experience of hatching your own chicks, that is a whole nother video which you can check out my video about how to hatch chicks in an incubator. That will give you detailed steps on how to hatch your fertile hatching eggs, which you can purchase fertile hatching eggs on eBay or order them from a local breeder and place them in an incubator, and 21 days later, yes, it's that quick, 3 weeks, and you will have baby chicks cracking open out of shells in your incubator, and you can watch the whole process unfold. It's really amazing. So that is just one more option if you're looking for a specific breed and you can't find the chicks locally. Just know you can order those fertile hatching eggs, get yourself an incubator. My favorite's the Manna Pro Nurture Right 360 incubator. Got a whole video about that one as well, and you can just take care of that whole process yourself, hatch your own chicks, and then raise them. And before you know it, you will have chicks that are 5 to 6 months old laying their first eggs, and then you'll have a flock of chickens where you're getting eggs from. And it's just amazing to be able to have the joy of chickens in your backyard and get those farm fresh eggs. So if you haven't started your farm yet, what are you waiting for? Get your farm on.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Do you want a farm? A wicked awesome farm? Watch this channel to learn what to do. We love to farm and we'll show you.